Livelihood programs for the poor. Livelihood programs seek to improve the state of life of the low-income sector by giving jobs and business chances, healthcare access, and other forms of assistance. The objective of livelihood program is to reduce poverty and inequality by generating employment among poor households and by moving highly vulnerable households into sustainable livelihoods and towards economic stability. Why is livelihood important? Livelihoods are an important part of human existence. In order for a population to survive, there is need for livelihoods that would sustain and support their households. In the Philippines, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, is the office that runs those projects. They have been doing SLP since 2011 for local groups throughout the country. So through these efforts, the DSWD will be able to encourage the poor sectors to start their own ventures in jobs. And all in all, these initiatives gives people a highly chance to share efforts to build their households, making them active agents to change. What are the examples of livelihood programs? So here are those programs and services of DSWD. Supplementary feeding program. So it provides augmentation support through feeding program for children in daycare centers. So also it aims to improve knowledge, attitude, and practices of children enrolled in daycare centers, parents, and caregivers through intensified nutrition and health education. Disaster Response and Management Division, or DRMD. Vision of food and non-food items to disaster-affected families. It valuable commodities for internally displaced person survival, health, and well-being, especially during displacement. Poor Shelter Assistance Program, or CSAP, is meant to assist family victims of disaster to acquire decent shelters. So it is made available to family victims whose houses were totally or partially destroyed by either natural or man-made disasters. Next is Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino Program, or also known as 4Ps. So 4Ps is human development measure of the national government that provides conditional cash grants to the poorest of the poor to improve the health, nutrition, and the education of the children aged 0 to 18. Alternative Family Care Program. So this program aims to provide qualified rights-based alternative family care as a last resort and for the shortest possible time for children without safe family environments. Some children are housed in small group family-style accommodation where they live with house parents. Next, Social Pension Program for Indigent Senior Citizens. So this program of indigent senior citizens to meet their daily subsistence and medical requirements, to reduce incidence of hunger among indigent senior citizens, and to protect from neglect, abuse, or deprivation. Next, Domestic Adoption. It is a socio-legal process of providing a permanent family to a child whose parents have voluntarily or involuntarily relinquished parent authority over the child. A Sustainable Livelihood Program, or SLP, is a capability building program for poor, vulnerable, and marginalized households and communities to improve their socio-economic conditions through accessing and acquiring necessary assets to engage in and maintain thriving livelihoods. Last but not the least, Recovery and Reintegration Program of Trafficked Persons. Department of Social Welfare and Development is mandated to provide social protection to trafficked persons, to strengthen existing programs for traffic victims and their families, and support capacity building activities for service providers.